In less than 15 minutes, Dr. Jann Malbec would be either walking on the surface of Mars or be dead, and there were plenty of ways for her to die. She could burn up in the atmosphere if the heat shield failed, or be smashed to pieces on the surface if the thrusters didn't fire. In any event, it was going to be one hell of a ride. After months of floating around inside the Odyssey transit craft en route to Mars, the moment had finally arrived for the 6 crew of the International Space Agency, ISA, to enter the lander and descend to the planet's surface. The habitation module was already in situ, along with a myriad of equipment and supplies. The mothership would now be parked in orbit where it would wait patiently for their return. Jann strapped herself into the seat, gripped the metal armrests tightly, and tried to breathe normally. Ahead of her, at the flight controls, Commander Robert Decker and First Officer Anis Romanov cycled through the systems check routines. "Detaching in 5, 4, 3... The voice of the first officer squawked in Jann's helmet, and she felt a thud behind her as release bolts retracted. The lander detached itself, floating free from the mothership. A moment later, thrusters fired to align it for the correct injection trajectory. Jann felt the force propelling her forward. Her grip tightened on the armrest. It bit through her gloved hand. It comforted her. Gravity began to tug at the craft as it commenced its downward spiral. It shook, gently at first. But with each passing second, the vibration intensified and deepened until the entire vessel rocked with a violent, cacophonous rage. The first officer began to shout out the descent velocity and elevation vectors. "Mach 2.7, altitude 15.6 kilometers. Jann tried not to think about the searing temperature building up on the craft's heat shield as it plowed through the upper atmosphere. She gripped the armrest tighter and hung on. It should have been Science Officer Patty McAllister sitting in this seat instead of her. But 4 weeks before the launch, McAllister started feeling unwell. An examination by the ISA medical team quickly diagnosed a viral infection. Not life-threatening, but she would not be fit for the mission. So after much deliberation and hand-wringing by the ISA Directorate, Dr. Jann Malbec got the call. She was officially next in line and checked most of the boxes for most of the stakeholders, but she was least experienced in terms of astronaut training. Jann knew the journey here was the easy part. The real test was beginning now. She would soon find out if she had what it took, or if she was simply an imposter.